Say, we've all heard people refer to some store or individual that is said to be doing a land office business.
Yeah.
Well, we sent Wally Blue to a genuine government land office out in Powell, Wyoming, to find out just how business is. So, if you're ready with your report, come in, please. Wally Blue.
This is the golden voice of Wally Ballou, speaking directly from the land office in Powell, Wyoming. Across the desk from me is the manager of this office, Mr. Farley R. Wimstop. I noticed, Mr. Wimstop, that you're sitting there throwing playing cards onto your hat.
That's right. You see, last Tuesday, I got 39 of the 52 cards into the hat. And I've been trying to beat that record ever since, Ballou. But the best I've been able to do today was 28. I've just lost the feel of it somehow.
Well, is that all you do all day, just throw cards into your hat?
No, I buy a morning paper on my way to work, and I read that until about 10 o'clock or so. And that includes time for working the crossword puzzle. Then I throw cards in the hat until lunchtime.
Then I suppose you go back to the card throwing after lunch?
Well, I take a little nap after lunch. Then in the afternoon, I may throw cards. Or if I'm tired of that, I may count the different makes of cars going past the office window. I spend quite a bit of time cleaning my fingernails, too.
Well, it sounds like a pretty monotonous routine to me.
Well, it's a very monotonous routine. It wasn't too bad until about 6 months ago.
You mean you were doing a good business up to that time?
I had a secretary, and we used to while away quite a few hours playing 20 questions. And we also had quite a gin rummy series going. I was leading her 926 to 722 games, 926 to 722 when she left. We'd agreed that the first one to lose 1,000 games would buy the other a lunch.
Well, you were getting pretty close to that goal yourself, weren't you?
Well, I was really sorry to lose Evelyn, but my immediate superior ordered me to let her go. Business has really been terrible here at the land office.
Well, I know that we've been here for about 3 hours setting up our equipment, and nobody at all has come in during that time.
No, we have virtually no customers at all. I could look it up in the ledger book and tell you when we had the last one, but there's so much dust on the ledger that I kind of hate to handle it.
Uh-huh. Well, that's all right. You don't have to do that.
I think our last transaction was in 1948, or maybe early 49.
So this is what people mean when they talk about doing a land office business, is it?
That's right. If I didn't have a low IQ, I don't think I could stand it.
Uh-huh. Well, we certainly want to thank you for chatting with us today, Mr. Wimstop.
Oh, you're not leaving, are you?
Well, yes. We just have a few more seconds assigned to us on our broadcast.
Oh, gee, it gets so dull around here. I was so glad to see you come. Now, here you are leaving already.
Well, I'm sorry.
Oh, I got some cookies here in the drawer. I could get some hot water, make instant coffee.
Well, thanks, but our time
we can play 20 questions. I haven't played 20 questions since Evelyn left.
Well, I'd like to, but I really have to go.
Well, I wish you'd go quickly, then. I'm having all I can do to keep from crying.
Well, I wish you wouldn't feel that way. Maybe somebody else will stop by to see you, postman or something.
Oh, he never stops anymore. Nobody comes to see me.
So this is Wally Ballou, winner of 51 International Radio Announcing Awards at the land office in Powell, Wyoming, sending it back to Bob and Ray in New York.
Mighty nice interview, Wally.
Thanks a lot, Ray.
Say, how's your old toothbrush? Well, now look, if it's tired and bent, then it's time for a new brush.
I think we should explain it. Wally listens in, and his line is still open for a short period after he sends it back to us.
Huh? I think everyone.
Okay, I just wanted to.
See, a Pepsodent brush gives your teeth the cleanest, the most efficient brushing possible.
Thanks, Bob.
We have a pickup scheduled now from Moberly, Missouri, where little 14-month-old Bobby Gustenfluger is nearing the halfway point in his attempt to crawl across the country on his hands and knees. Are we ready for that one?
Yes, me. I don't know whether you remember me or not. I'm Hergesheimer from the ad agency.
Oh, Mr. Hergesheimer. Yeah, I hope everything's going okay with you.
You boys seem to be holding your own in most of the major competitive markets. In Denver, you have almost as many listeners now as the radio beam from the airport.
Well, we're always in there trying, I'll tell you that, Mr. Hergesheimer. Is there anything special we can do for you here today?
Yeah, you see, one of our account executives came up with an idea the other day to give you, you fellas, job aptitude tests. Give them to all performers on the shows we handle.
What?
And we threw the idea down on the floor, walked around it for a while, and decided to give it a whirl.
Well, I don't quite see how you could give an aptitude test to a radio or a television performer.
Well, we
much
really
less a
think...
star.
Yeah, yes. We really think the thing is going to hypo the ratings on a lot of our shows. For example, we ran a test on Ma Perkins, and we found out that she has no aptitude at all for running a lumber yard. She couldn't tell walnut from soft pine. I think we're going to juggle things around, have her sell hot water heaters in the future. Should be worth at least, a point in the trend X.
Well, I always thought Ma Perkins had the lumber business down pretty pat myself.
Well, this test brings out things you wouldn't suspect otherwise. You might be surprised to learn that Sergeant Preston of the Yukon is really not too sharp on police work.
I didn't know that.
We're breaking him to corporal until we decide what line of work he's really suited for.
Well, it's all very interesting, but I still don't see why you happen to drop by here. We're certainly...
Well, let me get out
amused at this
my
kind of thing,
files here. Now, according to this, you're supposed to be a comedian, is that right?
Well, I guess so. Comedian or public servant, either one, it doesn't...
Well, I'll have to dock you 2 points here because, see, you don't look like a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could remedy that with a false wig, maybe, and some baggy pants. All right, say something funny. I want to check you on that.
Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm not that kind of a comedian. I don't say funny things.
Well, let me just jot that down in the comments. Doesn't say funny things. Okay, go ahead.
Well, go ahead with what?
Well, whatever you were doing when I came in.
Well, we were going to have a pickup from Moberly, Missouri right now. One of our Bob and Ray correspondents is out there. See, there's this 14-month-old baby who's crawling across the country on his hands and knees.
Why?
Why is he crawling across the country?
No, why are we going to have the pickup from Moberly, Missouri?
Well, that's where the baby is now.
I see.
Should I go ahead and switch on out there?
I wouldn't if I were you.
Okay.
Have you ever thought of going into the plumbing business, Elliott?
No, I haven't, Mr. Hergesheimer.
Well, the preliminary results of this test show that that's what you have the greatest aptitude for.
Plumbing, huh?
Of course, I'm just talking off the top of my head. I'll have to get a report from our test analyst at the agency before I give you the final word on that.
Well, okay.
Your partner there, Goulding or Gruber, whatever his name
Goulding.
is. Goulding. Well, tell him he starts to work at the Apex print shop in Long Island City next Monday. We foresee a great future for him there. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Public service feature and your income tax. And here once again to help our listeners with their tax problems is the noted financial expert, Mr. Claude Flabbert. I was just noticing how bloodshot your eyes appear to be today, Mr. Flabbert. Have you been sick?
No, I've just been losing a lot of sleep working on my own income tax return. I need a refund of about $2,000 to meet some other obligations, and it's, well, taking a little juggling of the figures to make the return come out that way.
Well, you'd better be careful. You know, you can get into a lot of trouble falsifying a tax return.
Oh, I expect to go to the pen for 6 months or so, but I figure that $2,000 is pretty good compensation for that.
I see. All right, well, we have quite a bit of mail piled up here from listeners with tax problems, so I think we might get right along to the first letter.
All right.
It's from a man in Paragould, Arkansas, and he writes, I mailed in my tax return the other day and then discovered, to my horror, that I had used income and deduction figures for 1955 instead of 1956 in making it out. If revenue agents come around to investigate, how can I possibly explain being a whole year behind this way?
Just tell them your watch stopped.
Well, very well. And now we have one from a gentleman in West Frankfort, Illinois, and he writes, I've been listing 9 phony dependents on my tax return every year since 1937. My brother-in-law is the only person who knows about this little matter, and I have to pay him blackmail to keep him from squealing on me. Can I deduct these blackmail payments as a business expense?
Well, you certainly can. After all, you couldn't carry on your business if you were in jail for tax evasion. Incidentally, if you ever decide to have your brother-in-law rubbed out to keep him from talking, the cost of doing that is also deductible.
And so another troubled mind is set at ease. We certainly want to thank you, Mr. Flabbert, for being with us again today on You and Your Income Tax.
Well, I like to help those in need of help.
And that is the Bob and Ray Show. we have to say so long for now. But never you fear, never you mind, my dear friends. We'll be back again real soon. And until then, this is the stunning Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get work.
Charming Bob Elliott, reminding you to hang by your thumbs.
And this is Mutual, the radio network for all America.